Hi everyone, back again. It's August 9th 2010. Just a quick video, let you guys all know I'm still alive. So I haven't done a video for a while, been a bit hectic with work and other stuff like that since I got back from the US. But yeah, I'm back, I'm home. Yeah, everything was great, everything had a good laugh, had a good time in America, did some shopping, did some relaxing, did some the stuff that I needed to do. So it was all good. The trip back was almost as bad as the trip out there. I started up with my bag was overweight, so I had to pay to get my bag through customs. Then after they printed my tickets out, I noticed that the seat numbers weren't printed on the customer retained part of the boarding pass, and that my third boarding pass was actually an itinerary. So we'll get into that. That's quite funny. Then I got chosen to go through the new style X-ray scanners, where you have to hold your hands up above your head, have nothing in your pockets at all. At which point I was asked to step to the side, and I was patted down by a security guard officer, who patted me down, which kind of devoids the whole point of it. But he checked my inside legs, looked up at the screen and checked my right leg, started patting down heavily up in the groin, asked me if I had anything straight to my leg, and I said no, that's my genitals. So that's not take what you want, whether they show up as a abnormality on a camera or not. Then my flight was delayed. The flight from Omaha to Newark. Actually, the flights before mine were delayed, and I went to the counter to ask if my flight was delayed. The guy said it wasn't going to be delayed. A bit later on the board, it said it was going to be delayed. Went up and checked with him. He said no, that the board's wrong. He'd get it changed. So, but to give him credit, he did come up to me 5 minutes later and did tell me the flight would be delayed by about an hour or so. Got on the plane and sat in my seat. Now, as I said, my ticket didn't have the seat number on it, but I remembered where it was. I then a couple came along and said they were sitting in my seat. The husband was sitting in the seat I was in, so I had to go back and confirm my seat number. I wasn't the right seat number. What it was is they had changed my seat because the guy was travelling with his wife, so they could sit together without actually letting me know. So I had that flight. Then got to Newark, and the flight to Newark was delayed, luckily. So I ran and grabbed some food, and as I literally finished paying for my food and sat down to eat it, they called boarding, so I had to run all the way down to the gate. It wasn't the distance, it was just the fact I had to do it while shoveling 2 bits of pizza and a bottle of root beer down my throat. Got to the gate, got on the plane, sat in my seat, and a guy comes up to me and says that I'm sitting in his seat. I'm like, no. I actually made sure I actually wrote it down on my phone what seat I was in. And I said, no, this is my seat. He goes, oh no, I always sit on the same row as my wife, but we don't sit together. She's sitting in A and in F, and I was sitting in A. And I'm like, no, I'm this seat. He then looked at his ticket and said, oh yeah, he was the row behind me. So that annoyed me a little. The flight then was late leaving, and actually took 20 minutes to taxi. It was just stuck on the tarmac for 20 minutes, which is an extra 20 minutes of time stuck in a compressed can with other people, which I don't really like, because you just end up smelling just of our fanboy funk and other people. I then landed at Manchester, got the bus from one terminal to the other terminal. Because I didn't have a boarding pass, I went to the counter and the guy told me to go through security. They let me through, even though I haven't got a boarding pass, because an itinerary is proof of flight. And went to go through there, and I was told I couldn't go through because I didn't have a boarding pass, which was a pain in the arse, because of course I was told I could. Went back, the guy came with me. There's actually another bloke who got off the same flight and doing the same thing, same trip to Heathrow, where we were told, no, you can't get through without a boarding pass. Itineraries aren't boarding passes, even though they're printed at the airport and they're proof of flight, but they're not boarding passes. But our boarding passes were the other side of the gate. We had to get through security to get our boarding passes. So eventually, after she had an argument with her boss and this other guy, and turned around and said, fine, so be it. If they're terrorists, it's on your head. Which kind of annoyed me, because we can't even say cigarette or light. you know, lighter without being, you know, bum rushed by guys with guns. Yet they can call people terrorists without any evidence. But hey, that's what we pay them for. Then when I got to the plane, I was told that I would probably not, because as I said, if I don't see my baggage at Heathrow, to raise a faulty claim, to raise a lost bag claim, because the bag would have been left at Manchester, because there was no time to get it on, and there's other guys as well. So the flight to Heathrow was actually kind of on time. It was one of those stupid little tiny flights that you can't really get late, because it's just, you know, you get on the plane, it goes up, it goes down again. It's stupid. Got that flight, got to the baggage claim, no bags. Went and raised the claim for my bag missing. They said, yep, your bag will be on the 2 p.m. flight from Manchester to Heathrow. After that, it'll be couriered out to you that day, and this was the Friday. Eventually, I got home. It wasn't too late. A friend of mine picked me up, so I got home. At around about 2 o'clock, I checked the website that BMI, these are the people who had the last flight, said that you could get details from where your bag is. The website said still checking for bag. I was a bit worried because it was meant to have come across. Called them up. Indian woman answers the phone, so it's obviously some sort of call centre or something. She has no more news, so I thought, okay. She goes, call back in a couple of hours. I called back around about 4 after checking the site. Still no news on the site. Same woman answers the phone, same name. She gave me the same name when she said who she was after checking my details. No news on her end, you know, on the site for her. She said call back about 5. So I called up at 5. Again, checked the website beforehand. No news on my bag there. Same woman answered the phone. The voice was identical, but after she got my details, she gave me a different name, and I was I said okay, fine, and I asked her after she said there was no more news on my bag. I said, are you looking at the same website as I can? And she went, yes. So she was actually honest to me, give her, you know, which was okay. But I was a bit unhappy about that, so I went off. I found a number for Manchester baggage claim on the internet, which actually turned out to be Manchester lost baggage. Called them up. They gave me the number for the company who, I think it's GMS, they're the company who runs the baggage for Manchester Airport. I called them up. The guy on there was really helpful. He, you know, thanks to him, he actually told me where my bag was, what flight it was booked on. It was going to be the next day, 11:45 from Manchester, and you know he actually was able to answer my questions, so I was happy with that. So I went to get some sleep after being up for nearly over 24 hours again. Woke up next morning, had a text come through saying that my bag would be delivered by 20 to 4 that day. Stayed in all day, and then at 20 to 4 my mobile rings. The guy is a Polish driver saying, hello, I have your bag for you, and I was like, okay. And he goes, well, I can't find your house, and had to direct him to my house because he couldn't find it, even though I had sat nav saying I don't know what's going on there. Got my bag, got it in, found nothing was lost, nothing was stolen. Had been checked by customs again, then they took it through, so because I got the wires for my chargers and all that sort of stuff. My base station for my laptop, so they'd stripped all that out, managed to break the clip on the bag. But it was all there. It was all good. Nothing was actually damaged, just all mixed up and that. So that was great fun. He says, yeah, it was a pain as well. But hey, I had my holiday, chilled out. So now I'm back and everything's settled back down again. I'm going to get back on with the web stuff and try and push forward with the changes and trying to get the site running. And yeah, so that's it. I'll see you all around. See ya.